also. Any details of me has it been given to the students? Is any details of me given?
No, sir. We didn't give any.
Okay. So, see, my name is Manoj Madhav. I basically practice as an advocate. I'm from Trivandrum. I'm in Kerala. Past 1 decade, more than a decade, I've been handling classes all over. Even in Chennai, I had handled classes for Officers IAS Academy, all those. And then another college, likewise, I've been handling the classes also. It's almost like 15 years I'm practicing as a lawyer. And yes, I had given my examinations and I had gone to the interview and all. And I was there selected in the army. So while my training was going on, I had to get relieved. And then I worked with Dr. Shashi Tharoor for almost 2 years. I was his personal secretary in Delhi. Then I even worked with Dr. Salman Khurshid and Sachin Pilot. So all these were the people which I had some political background, so I worked with these people also. And now, as a freelancer, I go all around India. As part of hobby, lecturing is my hobby. So this is what I am. And so I hope we'll get to understand each other coming time. We'll definitely do that. And now I have been asked to orient or take some topics on. So I personally, I don't believe in this idea of, I don't believe in the idea of any demo sessions and all, because it's more than a decade. I will consider myself very low if I am asked to take a demo. So I don't, because then it's like me taking myself very lowly. Nobody will do. Because when you consider yourself an expert, it's not, I would go for an orientation base of things. So since a topic has to be taken, so even some of my colleagues recommended me that, okay, fine, so let's go with it. So I was told that there will be somewhere around 60 candidates, but I hardly find 15 participants. Okay, so and if you want to further find my videos or something, that is available on the YouTube, that also you can find out, like how to prepare history, orientations on history and general answer writing skills, all are there. So YouTube you can have available. So what I generally say is that we can generally understand. For today, we can. See, I take for an academy in Hyderabad called as AKS. So AKS Academy, I think it is very well known for introducing Nadeem Hasnain, sir. Nadeem Hasnain, anybody there is anthropology optional. Nadeem Hasnain, sir, is one of the best in India. Those who are with sociology optional and all, the tribal society of India and all the books are there. So I also have my association with AKS. So in the AKS channel, usually I come give the details. So that is there. It's an academy from Hyderabad, and Dr. Rajkumar Academy in Bangalore. So all these have my videos. So you can visit them and then get it. I don't have any personal channel. I don't maintain any personal channel. So it's all on the basis of academy that I do. So yes, so topic which I would like to generalize is that, that area which nobody concerns in ancient India. So I thought, like, anyway, let me just go into the details, because concerning today, nobody asks anything about the political side or the political understanding. Just because I'm asked to explain, I am going into that. I just want to show that, okay, what my teaching style, if they want to understand, okay, let them understand. So maybe you are all also sitting there to assess me. Okay, fine, no issues. So what I generally say is, like, let's understand from the post-Vedic period. The post-Vedic period is mostly like when we say around 600 BC. So we have the ancient most India when we say that it's Indus Valley civilization, and then it comes to Vedic age. Vedic age is like, it's divided into two. That is early Vedic period, later Vedic period. So early Vedic period is considered, the timeline is from 1500 BC to 900 BC. Early Vedic. What is early Vedic period? It's like almost everything is set. What is set? The society is set. It's all about the society. So Indus Valley civilization has been removed. So which is the, can anybody sitting there tell me that which is the exact year that Indus Valley civilization would have been wiped off or completely abandoned? Any idea? No. The exact year when we say for Vedic age is 1750 BC, not Vedic age, Indus Valley civilization. The last year, it's easy to connect in that sense. So the last year when Indus Valley civilization was completely abandoned, see, there are areas where the post Indus Valley, I hope that most of you sitting there will be at least oriented, or are you a fresher? Are you a fresher or have you been oriented before? Because since I got an answer, I'm just asking. How many of you have been oriented before? I mean, at least in the basic sense of history, or have you written prelims or something like that? Is that okay? You're all freshers. Okay, fine. So then let's go into that detail. Let's go into that understanding. So first, Indian history begins almost from ancient India. Then it comes to medieval India, comes to modern India, post-modern India. So these are the general scheduling with Indian history. Ancient India, medieval India, modern India, post-modern India. So when it comes to ancient times, generally the syllabus goes with Indus Valley civilization. Beginning is in the pre-Indus Valley civilization. Then after Indus Valley civilization completes itself, or the evolutionary process of Indus Valley civilization is over from 1750 BC. Then an invasion. As per syllabus, there are many theories which are coming on. Last 2 years, 3 years, extensive researches have been going on. So these extensive researches have brought in many new theories. But one thing we need to understand with history is that you need to keep an idea whether that theory is accepted by people or not. I mean, how will they accept? Not you or I accepting. Just because you and I know history doesn't mean that we are authority of history. So I have done my optionals in history, and my score was pretty well when I did my history thing. So that's how I started lecturing also on that. And this year, academy I am associating in Delhi is Balian, Insights. Insights has the first rank. So this year is very fruitful for me. And I wish that, I pray to God that everything goes the same. So I can claim the first rank result also this year. So anyway, and sir has also shared his credit, and he has given me an appreciation letter also. So not boasting like any other, any others who doesn't have the claim. Anyway. Please don't mind me. I'm just having my tea because 11 o'clock, we get a little bit cranky. So please don't mind. I like to keep my classes very informal. I'm not very formal type or something. Okay, yes, I have a military background, but that doesn't mean the military. I'll show that in the military itself. I don't, once I come to a class, but my classes are very informal. I like to keep the class in a discussive format, a very discussion format I keep, because see, one more thing, since you told all of your freshers, what you need to understand is generally a lecturer needs to know the same as well as the student also need to understand, because when you come to an academy, you're coming for one of the toughest examinations in the world. Toughest examination in the world, and the 6th longest examination. The longest examination. UPSC exam is almost like 18 months of selection procedure goes on. 18 months of selection procedure is going on. So that is like almost 1.5 years is gone when you come for this examination procedure. As well as next importance that you can understand is 5th or the 6th toughest examination in the world. So here basically what academies do is they kind of teach. So it is not about teaching, it is all about coaching. First thing you need to understand that. And then this is the responsibility of the faculty to tell the students. And any academy you go, let me tell you this honestly, any academy you go, maximum the academy can give you is 25%. I mean, if I sit with you day and night, I can contribute only 25%. That you must understand this. Rest 75% is with your side. And of course, I do believe in God. So the element of God's touch is also very necessary. Other than that, you cannot. Now, if you're an atheist, you can believe in that sense. I'm not against any atheism or something. I do believe in God. So I believe that the element of God should be there with all of us. Anyway, so what I am saying is, first thing is decoding the syllabus. When you decode the syllabus as best as possible is when you understand. See, this examination stands like a monster. This examination is like a monster. Day and night, you have to give your complete self into this exam. So once you give complete self into this exam, the your psyche is being caught here. You cannot have an idea what is happening outside. You don't have friends. You don't go for any functions at home. Until and unless you clear. Now, once you clear, then you are celebrated like anything across India or anywhere across the world, because Indian Civil Service examination is known all across the world. It's one of the toughest, everybody knows. So what I need you to understand is, first, anywhere you go, you need to understand the syllabus. I will explain to you when I come for the proper orientation. I will give you all the details of what these are. Unless and until, do not judge. So maximum you can say is, and one more thing you need to understand is, we are only guides here. So it is not like the classroom that faculty comes and teaches and you take whatever the faculty says and then go. No, there is a lot of other preparation which comes into your side also. So I like always to keep it very informal, because my aspirants, I don't consider myself a teacher or something. I'm just a lecturer. Teacher is a government given post. So government has not given me a post of teacher. Professor also is a government given post. So I don't consider myself a professor also. I'm a lecturer. I lecture here. I am an advocate by profession. And I'm happy in that. So anyway, so what I'm coming to understand is, since you're freshers, I had to mold this. Directly coming to history, it's one of the most boring subjects. You need to keep this in mind. It's one of the most boring subjects that you can ever come across. So I try to make it as best or as liberating as possible, because it is one of the very interesting subjects. The way it is taught, it becomes the most boring. And in schools, we must have studied, Akbar's father Humayun, Humayun's father Jahangir, Babur, game over. But when you take the fact alone, things are completely a struggle. But when you understand a little bit of anecdotes around it, certain events, you will remember the dates, you will exactly, it's like a chronology. So how you need to understand that in history is, see, for example, you take a cinema. You're taking a cinema, a movie. In this movie, what happens is, one time you see, why do you not remember Ashoka's or Akbar's or say Cornwallis history, but why do you remember any of the cinemas that you have seen? Both are stories only. It's the mental attitude that we have. It's a mental attitude that we keep. For example, we take Mahatma Gandhi, we see Mahatma Gandhi as history. And what has happened in school is, what's the difference between this teacher and the director, the movie director? The movie director lessened, and your attitude also matters there. Your attitude also matters there. Like how does the attitude matter is, you have kept the cinema at a lower profile. You look down on cinema. Just nothing, it's just a movie. If I tell you 10 different movies now, I'm asking you, okay, from now, go watch some 10 movies for 2-3 days, come back. You will watch all these cinema and then come back and tell me the story. Sir, this happened, that happened in the movie. You might remember some names also. So the attitude of you is that you are looking down on the cinema. It's just a story. But when it comes to history, because of how the history teacher would have taught, some teachers are very excellent, I'm not blaming everyone. So they would have, those who have, literally screwed the subject, for you will be standing here, and for you, the subject will be here. So you'll be looking up at the subject. Wow, how can I read all those? So Ashoka becomes a burden. Akbar becomes a burden. Mahatma Gandhi becomes a burden. So what you need to do is, you need to bring Ashoka, Akbar and Mahatma Gandhi down to the level of cinema. There is also story. There's also a story. If you watch the movie Jodha Akbar, there Hrithik Roshan comes as Akbar, and okay, fine. There you remember a lot. Still the same story comes in, right? So this is the deformalization of history that begins. If you consider like this only, then lot of things can be learned. History is one of the most important subjects. Out of 100 questions, nearly around, do you know geography has come down to nearly 4 to 6 questions? In the past years, if you take, environment has increased. And environment is part of geography, yet it has got separate segregation now. But history has increased on by its own. Last year, almost like 19 questions were history, or supposedly related with history. 19 questions, almost 20% out of the 100 questions. So that's not a subject which then you can take risk on. Every year, any examination that you go, history is part of it. So there you need to consider. So I keep my classes very informal, but I am very strict about some disciplinary concepts which I take in class. Offline, when we meet offline, definitely we will be handling in those sense. But from now home, I cannot control you or something. But these are general orientation. But if you have any queries, you can ask me later. So now let me go into the topic. So I was telling you, ancient India, again, the syllabus decoding is like, first comes Indus Valley civilization. So general. Now we are not in class, so let's just go like that. So Indus Valley civilization. After that, Indus Valley declines in the year, exact year is important, 1750. 1750 is important. So 1750 BC. So this 1750 BC, the decline comes by. And then next importance that comes is for this 1750 BC. Now, another trick in history is that when something you learn in BC, check out whether something is available in AD also. What is available in 1750 AD? That's another question that we need to consider. So 1750 AD, there again something related to Ashoka is 1750 AD. So that is Ashoka or Mauryans as such were forgotten. We had no idea in Indian history. We had no idea about these Mauryans and all. Whenever Hindus were asked or Indians were asked, what is your history? Maximum they will go up to, I mean, during the British times. During the British times, they will ask us how much do you understand? So they will say, okay, we had till Gupta or before Gupta and all they used to know. And then if they asked, okay, how much do you know about before, what happened before? Or then Rama, Sita, Krishna, okay, what was their timeline? Lakhs and lakhs and lakhs of years. So this historical chronology was never properly identified in Indian history. So there was this struggle because Indians, I mean Hindus especially, never was bothered in writing history. Everything was kept as in any element of ancient history written in India was by the foreigners. For example, like Greeks came, Egyptians were there, Mesopotamians were there, Chinese were there. They were the ones who actually wrote Indian history. When they came into India, ancient times, they used to write it on paper. Then a systematic chronology of historical concepts was written after Islamic invasions. When Muslim rulers came into India, meticulously Islamic historians were there. They were the ones who kept day-to-day base, and that's where we get a clarity of history. That's why when we come to medieval India, we get more information. Ancient India is mostly archaeological. So these archaeological informations that we come across is because of scientific technological development. Only past 100 years or so, or 200 years or so, archaeology has come into prominence. Otherwise, nobody was least interested. So this is what you must understand. That's why post Indus Valley civilization, this concept of Vedic age. So somebody invaded us. Who invaded? It is said that the Aryans invaded. That itself is a controversial thing. Whether Aryans lived in India, whether Aryans lived in Russia, or they lived in Iran, Iraq, or they lived in Siberia, or they lived in Europe, or they lived in Norway, or they lived in Danube. So there are a lot of theories. Or they lived in Tibet. So Aryan theory we say. I mean, like Aryans came from many places. It's not that Aryans came from many places. Theories are there that they might have come from these many places. So after the Aryan, so Aryan age that we call as Vedic age, because Sanskritic concepts are developed. So when the Sanskritic concept is developed or the Aryan concept is developed, that they say from 1500 BC to 900 BC is a early Vedic period. That means perfect society, women were equal to men, women were given education, women were given equal status, women were actually having more status, or women were more liberated. See, why I am giving the concentration for women as women empowerment is very important. So what we need to understand here also, like women, the more educated the woman is, the more educated the society is. It's not by man's education that differences in the society happens. Always, see, I have nearly around 4 post-graduations with me and around 2 graduations, and I'm doing my PhD now. So understand that is all my mother's aspiration. It is because of my mother that I learned this much. Father will be like, okay, you study as much as you want, you settle down as soon as possible. Mother's ego is generally, if you are learning, it is only your mother will come and pester you behind. Always they will be like, all of you, I would recommend you to see if the question matters in a public forum. So please put the question publicly. Because private question, when I answer, trouble is others are not seeing this question. If any private question has to be put to me, definitely you can put. But as of now, if you put a question privately, others, and if I'm answering the question means others will get confused. So please put it publicly. So which is the most relevant theory of Aryan? So there are three theories that generally come by. For example, like there is this, Dayananda Saraswati. Dayananda Saraswati says that they came from Arctic region. So Arctic theory is there. Then again, there is Central European theory. Penka and Mach and all is there. So Central European theory. So that's what Adolf Hitler took. And then the Nazis went on to make an Aryan superior race and all. Then again, the Indian home theories claiming that Indians came from nowhere else. Indians came. Aryans were Indians only. So this we need to understand. Then there is the Central Asian theory that they were Iranians. So even the word Iran means Aryan. It was changed when Shah of Persia was thrown out, and then the regime of Ayatollah Khomeini came in Iran. Until then, it was Persia. The Persian ideology that name was removed, and then they put the name Iran. Iran translation means Aryan. So some of the almost 13 theories are there. We don't learn all these 13 theories, or even more theories are coming up. So, but we don't learn all these theories. We generally go for the most famous theory is Central Asian theory. I mean, they came from Iran, Iraq region. So that is where they came and then they moved into many parts. Some moved into Europe, some moved into India. That's the concept that they say. So I hope my answer is satisfactory. So around 1500 BC, there comes early Vedic period. Early Vedic period, everything is set. I mean, set means most importantly, we see that in the scriptures, we see women being given more importance. For example, one example what we can say is women were given even the status of a sannyasini. In modern day, we will see sannyasini. Otherwise, see, Vedic ideology, when we say Vedic philosophy, sannyasis can come, men can come. That even in Christian literature or scripture, Islamic scripture, it is very clearly established. More than 120,000 prophets had come. All these prophets were male prophets. None of them were females. So we try to connect. When you study ancient India, especially in my classroom, I try to connect the interconnectivity between religions also. Interconnectivity between religions. So in Islamic history, or well as Torah means that is for the Jew, or Christian Bible, all the prophets that came, none of them were females, all were male prophets. So that also we need to keep that in mind. So same like that in Hindu ideology, Vedic ideology, when you go, there were females available. We have in Jainism also females were available, not in Buddhism. Buddhism, sannyasinis are there, but Buddhist ideology predominantly or in a base level, they did not accept females. Hinduism, Jainism, Vedic, Jainism doesn't talk about Vedic understanding. Hinduism, Vedic understanding, there were females, sannyasinis, When it comes to Puranic ideology, we will see patriarchal domination. We'll explain all this because history we have to see. What you need to understand, one more thing is, it's not about studying history. And how to study history for UPSC is different thing. Simply they will come and teach history and go. That's an absolutely disastrous thing. Because here we learn history on the level of administration. You are going to be an administrator. So you need to learn history in this level of administrator. You are going to learn geography in that sense. History is a very dangerous subject because a lot of thought process comes by. Maybe my ideology is not your ideology, and we may not. So, but history has come by. No, history has come by. So even now, imagine like now India, there is a little bit of trouble going on in India, ideological troubles. Right wings are growing on. Let it be Islamic right wing, Hindu right wing, Christian right wing. Everything is growing. So this is an age of right wing. So what happens is that they derive their ideology from history. But they are deriving their ideology from history to blame the people who live today, who doesn't have any connection. Okay, I might belong to that same group, but deriving from history. So that's why I said history is a very dangerous subject. Everybody goes for history. Even Ram Mandir construction or anything, even if you are reading a essay in the newspaper, Hindu newspaper, introductive paragraph is there. When you have essay writing, in my AKS channel, I have put that how to write an essay, those details and all are given. How to phrase that, paraphrasing and all is I've told. So when we begin the class, I will explain you all this, how to write the answer also, formulate the answer. First paragraph is introduction always. Second and the third paragraph is 99% history. Because when you begin something, you tell a little bit about what had happened in the history, then you go on to the body. So every essay that you write, second and the third paragraph is history only. So what we need to understand is that's the importance of the subject. It's a dangerous subject. It is a very interesting subject. If not taught properly, it is a most disastrous and boring subject. So that's why I said I am very informal. Because you need to be with a discussive mind. Why I am saying that again? You are discussing people. You are discussing ideology. Ideology for you will be different, for me will be different. So I need to connect with your ideology, you need to connect with my ideology. Because tomorrow when you are going to sit as an administrator, maybe you will be posted in Nagaland. 96% Christians. 96% Christians. Or sometimes you will be thrown into Kashmir, where majority are Muslims now. So there you cannot go and say that, I am a Hindu or I am a Christian or I am a Jain or a Buddhist or no, I will not listen to Muslims. No, you have to administer. They will look up to you. Saab kuch kijiye. Hamare liye kuch karke dikhaiye. Like something like, you have to show. So there you don't want the research methodology idea and all. All you need is administrative ideology. So when you know about something, maybe in history, such kind of a trouble would have come, or such kind of an issue would have been brought in front of a ruler or a governor. How that person handles it. Oh, I'm a lawyer. What do? We take precedence. The concept called as precedence. We look back into history. Okay, for example, one offense is committed. For that particular offense, what was the punishment given? What was the circumstances? All that when we give. Even judges are considered to be the most wise people in a society. Even the judges look at history, but they don't use the word history, they use the word precedence. They use the word precedence. So this is what happens. So always look at that administrative part alone, not that research methodology part. Now, most of the people I have seen is come and teach the subject. No, it's not about teaching. It is all about coaching. So when I will tell you, okay, you read this area and come, okay, you should read and come, then only we will be able to connect better. 1.5 years, if you struggle in all your life is, enjoyable. Or at least then you don't want the faculty. So this is what I generally cultivate with my students. Past 10 to 13 years, it has been going on. So this is what I cultivate. So as I'm coming, the early Vedic period, I just said some idea. Later Vedic period, 900 BC to 600 BC. 1500 BC to 900 BC was 1500 BC to 900 BC, around 600 years, early Vedic period. Everything proper. Society was equal, that whatever we aspire for. But then 900 BC to 600 BC, it came 300 years, everything bad. I mean, like caste system. Caste system was already there. Caste system becomes stringent. It becomes very heinous. I mean, like that rigidity of the caste system becomes very strict. So we'll explain that in class when we begin the proper class. So the what's it? Excuse me for that. The later Vedic society. The later Vedic society, caste system is bad, then women and man, the distinction between woman and man, that equal understanding between woman and man is removed. So naturally society comes down in education. All these differences do come by. So that's what we see. Then it is during this time, 600 BC, that there is one concept that develops in India. I mean, like the Puranic ideology, Puranas. The Puranic ideology that we generally see is that can you see the picture?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you can see this picture over here. This is the Mahajanapadas. There were Janapadas first, Janas first. I mean, small village type of community. They were called as Janas, and they rose to nearly around 164, 65 different Janapadas. Kootangal, in Tamil or Malayalam we say Kootangal. Any non-Tamil or a non-Malayali here? So all of you understand Tamil and Malayalam. I don't know Malayalam, at least you understand Tamil.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So இது கூட்டங்கள்னு சொல்லும். So that கூட்டங்கள் தான் இங்க வந்துட்டு ஜனம்னு சொல்லும். So ஜனம் ஜனபதங்கள் ஆயிடுச்சு. அதுல இருந்து it went into Mahajanapadas. Mahajanapadas were 16 in total. 16 Mahajanapadas. So here we don't have to study anything about these kind of, only we need to know the place and their capitals if possible. NCERT la konjam areas irukkom. There I will refer and give. That area only you study. Nothing more you need in this area. Hindu students will understand these names more easily because நம்மளோட புராணங்கள் எல்லாம் வந்துட்டு இந்த names இருக்கும். For example, like Gandhara, Gandhari, Panchala, Panchali, Anga, Angaraj, Karnan, or Kosala. Kosala Rajkumar means Sri Rama only. So likewise, these all names are there in Hindu Puranas. So that is the idea that we see from later Vedic period, or the development happens. At the same time, we cannot relate India alone. India faced invasions during this period. So who invaded India? So the invasion came from none other than the Persians. Persian influence came to India. So Persian influence, when it comes, we see the Persian. Can you see this? Whatever I'm sharing. பார்க்க முடியுதோ?
Sir, we can see this.
Can you see the Persian map?
We can see the Mahajanpadas.
Acha, acha, fine. You can see the Persian map. So this particular map, this was the largest empire in the ancient world. Ancient world, this is the biggest or the largest empire. This was called as Achaemenids. Achemenids. But Achaemenids and the Matta institutes what they do is they just skip all these areas. And in the area romba importance irukku. How? Because இங்க நிறைய art and culture கேட்கிறதுக்கு வாய்ப்பு இருக்கு. Art and culture is very important in this area because Persians contributed a lot of art and culture base, which is still followed in India, still followed in most of the Indian traditions also. So that's what they become important for. It's not like which Persian king we don't want to study, but just we have to know the king. That's all. But more importantly, we have to go because art and culture is very important these days. So imagine they are coming all the way from Greece, Mediterranean, the pacha color you can see, green color you can see, and again all the way they are coming Iran, Iraq, Egypt, Arabia, the Balkan region, then Central Asia. All it comes to India. Almost they are reaching nearly Gujarat. Or let me show you another map. And this is what the area that we come to. So you can see the map very clearly. They have reached almost India, the outskirts of India. They still had almost till Gujarat, they had their influence. And some of the Persian emperors that we see are, so one of the first emperors that we see is Cyrus the Great. With Cyrus the Great, what we understand from him is that later on, when I explain this part again, when in classroom that comes by, I will definitely come back to the same topic again. So Cyrus, can you see the picture of Cyrus? Is it available? Cyrus, is it available now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, when you talk about Cyrus, one of the greatest thing about Cyrus was, especially in the concept what is happening in India today. I don't like to use the word Bollywood. Bollywood, that word is a stupid ideology because Hollywood la irundhu அப்படியே தூக்குன ஒரு பேர் தான். They just lifted that word. Why can't you say, if you are a little bit self-respecting, you will call it Indian cinema, illana Hindi cinema. Hollywood is a place. Hollywood is a place. They made movies there. They call it Hollywood movies. Adukku badala inga poi apdiye, it's like the concept is called as aping. Oru koranga paathe edavadhu thooki erija, it will just return the thing. It will just imitate whatever you do. You show a scratch at that, it will also show. You smile at that, it will also smile at you. So that's what we call aping. Why should we do aping? See, whatever the Western person does, we don't have to imitate all that. And what we are doing is that Mollywood, Collywood, Tollywood, Pollywood, Tollywood, what all woods are there? It's a disgrace for us, self-respect. So I generally tell my students, if you have any concept of self-respect, do not use the word Bollywood, use it Indian cinema. Now what has happened is, this case that is going on, Sushant Singh Rajput, his suicide, has brought out the idea of nepotism. The word nepotism is very high in the air. nowadays in the past 2-3 months. But nepotism means favoritism. Favoritism, so you don't take any merit in the person. That person is good, near and dear to you, so you give them all chances. Be in any profession, that is it. Being you will be the godfather. Anal, one of the first rulers in the world who was meritocratic. Nepotism, opposite word is meritocracy. Well, Cyrus was always there in the concept of meritocracy. I mean, who is meritorious? And one of the things, but nama idea Greek world or Athenian democracy. Democracy in a concept is moreover of Greeks. Okay, fine. Election procedure and all. Anal, Greeks still segregated their citizens. How did they segregate their citizens? I mean, it was only இன்னைக்கு election concept வந்தாலே universal adult suffrage ன்னு சொல்லுவோம். Adult suffrage. If I am an adult, you are an adult, we are eligible for, if you are having the basic criteria satisfied as an Indian citizen, we are eligible for an election. We can go and vote. That is democracy. But Athenian democracy was different. They will keep a pot, and only those people, men, who have a land with them. So hardly 10% of people owned land. So this 10% of people who own the land, and that too among them men, they could vote. And they are the ones who received the benefits of the democratic understanding. They are the ones who only could speak in the society. Allah, not everyone. Anal, what we don't understand about the Persian society is that Persians were much more, because being meritocratic, Cyrus made one concept very understandable, that Cyrus told whoever pays their tax properly in the global empire, all the way from Greece to Africa to India, that big empire, he told anyone who pays the tax properly is eligible to receive the laws and regulations properly. So there we see a difference here. Any difference? State, citizens are not bothered about rights. Inna problem. Citizens are over bothered about rights. Citizens are over bothered about rights. Where are our responsibilities as citizens? Nobody bothers about responsibilities. Rights, I'm happy. I don't even care about anything else. Oh, there is no responsibility. But Persian society had that element of responsibility also. Same with the ruler. If you have seen the movie 300, they picturize the Persians as very very animal type, or like very crude, very villainous type. They were one of the very refined societies, very refined. So Cyrus the Great was it. So first, one of the very important that goes is because he, at the time these people were having a religion called as Zoroastrianism. Zoroastrianism is regaining its power in Iran. More people are reverting into Zoroastrianism, Iran. So Ahura Mazda is their god. So that is one thing that we need to understand. So these people belonged to a religion called as Zoroastrianism. We are talking about 600 BC. Understand, when you take 600 AD, Islam comes in. So 600 BC in the Solumbo, Zoroastrianism is predominant. 600 AD, then we take, it's a shortcut. It's easy to keep in mind. Okay, then 600 AD, what happened? Prophet Muhammad is alive. So there, the elements of Islam has begun in Mecca, or surroundings of that region. That ideology has been started to circulate. So all this comes by. So keep that in mind. It's more easy to learn history. So then after Cyrus, okay, what happens is that Cyrus liberated the Jews. He gave an opportunity for the Jews to go and live among them. So now I'm going a bit slow. Now fast I will go. so that you understand certain concepts. So what I am trying to convey it is here, history order or a benefit. The benefit of the subject history is that homework நிறைய இருக்கும். இப்போ நான் இப்போ சொல்ற மாதிரி ரொம்ப கொஞ்சம் we are going a little bit slow, but slow போனா கூடி if we understand the concept, that's it. Polity you have to update, economy you have to update, geography you have to update. History illa updation கிடையாது. Updation na ஒரு 5% updation தான். Some historical factual changes வரும். அவ்வளவுதான். Who has ruled, that is not going to change. 500 years before Akbar was there, Akbar's father was Humayun. That history is not going to change. That will remain there. Akbar ruled, Humayun ruled, Babur ruled, Ibrahim Lodi ruled, or Ashoka ruled, Bindusara ruled, Chandragupta Maurya ruled, Dhanananda was there. None of these. So, ivara padikira konja homework, that's all. But once you have understood these, you don't need to update. Studied it, left it. All you need to do is revise. Chumma adikadi eduthu chumma onu, you have to just casually read. First time cinema paakumbodhu adula oru interest irukum. Na cinema ila irundha thodanganadu. I started with the concept of cinema. Cinema is a story. So ella historical concepts keep it like a story. Adukaprom then what you are going to do is maybe after 6 months or something, and the movie if you are seeing again, what happens, innum konjam and the story ella first time la you might remember hero heroine illa and the movie la yaar hero, ama ivan da nadicha, okay fine, accepted. Second time when you see, you know the names of all those, you know the primary characters already. Second time when you see, you know the secondary characters. Third time, fourth time, fifth time when you see the cinema, you will remember the dialogues also. The same thing comes with the historical concept. When you read again and again, you will catch more information. That all I'll help you with. No worries in that. Once class starts, we will go systematically and slowly. There is no concept of rushing. Adallam part of commercialization. Adallam business deals. Since it is an NGO, we don't need to do that business deal here. Konja time eduthe pogalam. But time is given, certain time is given, we will we'll go accordingly. There is nothing more. So this is one topic which I need to make you understand. So one more theme that we need to take. So after Cyrus came Darius. So Darius was there, then Xerxes was there. Anybody seen the 300 movie? Have you seen the 300 movie? Okay. So now what happens is that to make history more interesting. See, everything in his movies cannot be taken. So what we generally do is, movies cholo, English movies mostly, or Hindi movies or something. So what happens is, see, 70% we should eliminate. A 30% when you take, what happens is that you understand that outline. Okay, one Mr. Ahmad, okay, Yasin, yes, 300 Spartan, yes. So 300 and the movie la vandittu, what happens is the story outline and all is good. History is totally twisted, but how they fought, oru idea manasla varum, or mind la varum, that will help you read more or collect more information. So see, a picture speaks 1,000 words. That is what. So neenga evlo padichalo, you will never have an understanding. I mean, like some people read hundreds and hundreds of times, they will never get it inside. Show them one picture, they'll immediately catch it. Other movie they will immediately understand, okay, what is it? We don't want to study the dialogues. We don't want to study anything. We just want the idea. Adla oru 20% idea kadcha podu. Okay, pretty. For example, now I'm saying Anglo-Mysore War. Anglo-Mysore War at a time, say, how did the British troops come by? More than I sitting here and explaining that they were wearing red coats and all, I just tell you a movie, maybe 2 hours or something, or a documentary. I tell you, you go and watch that documentary, or all of you sit together and watch. That much understanding will be there. Your free time, 2 hours a day, or 2 hours in maybe a week. 2 hours documentary for 2 hours, 1.5 hours documentary. More information is collected. In the end, my job here is to make history easy for you, and you should understand history. So that's what we do here. So, say for example, Turkish invasions. But Turkish invasions, like, I would say, go watch Ertugrul. Ertugrul, because I handle classes in an academy in Mangalore. That's a Muslim NGO. So I have been telling my students from almost 4 years. Now it's almost 4 years that I'm handling classes there in Mangalore. So what happens is that I've been telling my students, 2020, in the Varshatoda, like 100 years of World War is completed, and then the Treaty of Sevres. The Treaty of Sevres was signed between the victorious powers and Ottoman Empire. Ottoman Empire was defeated, and the Khilafat also completely gone. So this year, the treaty with Turkey is getting over. Now Turkey is trying to come back. There is a lot of problem in OIC, Organization of Islamic Countries. There is a lot of trouble in among Saudi. There is Islamic nations are kind of against each other. So I have been telling my students there, because we kind of sit and discuss what all things kind of current affairs also. Because history questions are always asked on current affairs. So what we can generally suggest this year is, the Treaty of Sevres is very important, because Turkey is trying to make an upper hand. Because Ottoman Empire controlled Makkah up till 1919, or until the Ottoman Empire was abolished. Makkah was controlled by these people. Who? Ottoman Turks. Now the treaty is over. Now Turkey is trying to come back as the leader of Islamic world. Other than the main problem is that nothing else is a main problem. This is one of the main problems. China is backing. Everything is on back of this politics only. So what we understand in this particularity is that see, Sir Syed Ahmad Khanoda personal diary ellam padichade, we understand one thing, because today Saudi controls Makkah. In 100 years before, it was Turkey that was controlling. And anybody who goes to Makkah, they never used to go to Makkah directly. They will directly go to Turkey. And because the seat of Khalifa, so anga poi or gift vachittu, then they go to Jeddah. Ship, not plane, ships. So Turkey now wants that particularity developed again. This is a 100 varsham munne tradition, Islamic tradition. So now Turkey wants to bring back this tradition, even though there is nothing. Adukkuda in the Hagia Sophia was made, the Blue Mosque. They used to pray. I hope now you get the connection. What was the reason? Mosque, the museum funds church, turned mosque, turned museum, again turned mosque. I think that historical connection you got. This is the way questions are going to be asked. When namak idu therinjirundada, we will be able to put the people who we are administering into calmness. Christians will say, okay, whatever was done was not good. Fine. You must be able to make them understand, okay, this is what historically happened. Always look for current affairs. And the best way to understand history is either a documentary or through movies. Movies la namakku 20% edutha podum. I'll tell you what is not and what is. So I will be suggesting movies also or documentaries, which maybe I'll share the link, or I might give you the documentary itself. Watch it. Recollection. That's namakku. We need to clear the exam. For that, hook or crook, we can do many things. That's my idea. Allah, I don't want to come and show that, I don't need to show what I know. It's not necessary for me to show that what I know. I am supposed to help you clear the exam. For that, we will do everything necessary. That's what I do every places. I teach almost like 9 places all across India, or lecture. And I have my office also that goes on. So this is basically my style of lecturing history. Any doubts? Not now. So since I have told you 300, you can watch 300 and see how much you can understand about the Persians. See, as I go with the flow of history, I kind of tell, okay, this documentary or this article, this pamphlet or this movie, likewise only I tell them. Everything once itself I give means then you will not be able to understand what or what. See, now, as I said, because we talked about Persians a little, you can watch 300 where you will understand both Greek and Persian styles, the Spartan styles, all that. If you want, you can watch that. I mean, like that's all. So I'll wind my class here. Any questions that you have, you can ask. Any other movies you can watch? This Netflix series is there, Ertugrul, Turkish war hero. That's very. And again, one more thing that you must understand, politically, why did Turkey make a series like that about a Turkish hero? Because Turkish prominence should be shown. Turkish prominence was to be shown. So they brought out a series which showed in Turkish language itself, where the Turkish hero is shown. So now most of the Islamic countries, especially Pakistan, has gone crazy over this one series. So you can watch that. You can watch that also. It is out. No, UPSC nepotism we cannot say, because UPSC is one of the most transparent. See, after all, we are Indians sitting there. We Indians are sitting there, and India is a corrupt country. India is very corrupt country. So let us accept. I'm not saying it is your country, it is my country. But let us understand the social system, the social structure of India. So let's be honest about it, that India is a corrupt country. But considering the corruptions in India, maybe in state level exams and all, that happens. But UPSC as such, still we all trust UPSC that much is because 95% and above, there is transparency. That we can guarantee. UPSC is the most transparent that we can say. Okay, 5% because we are Indians. So we should accept that. Even when you form some kind of chemicals or when in factory also, 5% wastage is allowed. So let's not think like that. So nepotism is part of every place. But UPSC, we think or we believe it is the least. That's one thing. Any other questions? It's not hard to fool. Let me just show you. The series which I said, since the person has asked. So you can see this. This is the series which I was saying. It's one of my personal favorites. Also, they have done a wonderful job. It's a Turkish series. You'll get English subtitles. Now, what we understand from this particularity is that Ertugrul, before the Turkey rising, their political agenda had to be spread. So they brought out a life history of a Turkish hero who stood against the Western powers mostly. So all this is very important before Turkey coming out. So the people will get to know history. That's what I talked about, history. So they talked about historical idea. Again, in India, what is happening? Ram Mandir. Again, Hindus are being made to realize who was Sri Ram? Purushottama. So when we look into history, so pride for somebody always comes from history. That is why again people are reminded of history. So this is what I suggested. Like, you need to have some idea. I think it's a Netflix thing, so you can watch it from there. So, any other questions? So please do not waste your time also watching all this, and the free time. Slowly we can finish. So if this is the case, then I will wind the session as such. I hope you're satisfied. Mr. Arif?
Yes, sir.
So I'll be winding the session.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for your time, sir.
Okay. Take care. Bye-bye.
Brother Afsal?
Yes.
So, request aspirants to give a valuable feedback. This study session, we got only 10. And we have a participants for around 20-25 participants. So they have to give a valuable feedback on this session so that we can fix the history faculty. And also give a brief introduction about the validation function.
Okay, you are asking me to give an introduction.
Yeah.
Okay, aspirants, coming Sunday, that is 23rd of August, we have a validation function for our foundation course aspirants. So the link will be given in your WhatsApp group. So kindly register and then you can attend the validation function. This function will be of 1.5 hours only, so that you can come and take part in this function. So we have a chief guest, various chief guests. The chief guests are, we have 3 chief guests. One is Mr. Jawahirullah, and he is ex-MLA and the president of TMMK party. And next is Mr. Nawaz Kani. He is the MP, member of parliament in Lok Sabha from Ramanathapuram constituency. And then we have third, we have the retired IPS officer, Mr. Nisar Ahmed. He is the former commissioner in Bangalore. So he is also visiting. He is also going to come for that validatory function. So kindly attend the function. They will share their experience, and we have planned to give a certificate for the top 6 toppers. That means who have performed the top 6, you will be given the certificate and you will give your feedback to. That will be communicated by the admin to you. So kindly, I request all our aspirants, foundation course aspirants, to come and attend the validity function, which will be on 23rd of August. That is on Sunday afternoon. That is after 4 o'clock. The link will be given in your WhatsApp group. So kindly attend the function and grace the occasion. Thank you.